George was taking out the trash when a girl wrapped in a piece of cloth asked for his help. Surprised, George took off his jacket and covered her. He gave the jacket to the girl, but she smirked mischievously. She then put on some clothes and asked George to turn around. Moments later, a man approached, tossed more clothes to the girl, and demanded money from George, saying that since George had watched their performance, he needed to pay. The man threatened George with a knife. While this happened, the girl quickly took George's jacket, searched it for his wallet, and pulled out a badge. The girl asked George to take her home. When they arrived, the girl's father opened the door and was surprised to see his daughter brought home by a stranger. The father questioned the girl, but George explained that she was in trouble and he had helped her. The father thanked George and invited him inside. George noticed something suspicious and asked for a cup of coffee, but the father claimed they didn't have any. George settled for a glass of water. After drinking, George began questioning the man about his occupation, but the man avoided answering. Suddenly, the man introduced George to his son, Chris. When Chris saw George, he immediately punched him, knocking him unconscious. Chris searched George and found the badge, realizing George was a police officer. George was tied up, and the girl later brought him food. George begged her to let him go, but the girl refused. George insisted he only wanted to help her, but she snapped back, saying no one asked for his help. George warned her that she was being used for illegal activities, but the girl defended her family, telling him to be quiet. Deep down, her resolve began to waver. The girl grew conflicted. While Chris argued outside, she sneaked over to George. Her father arrived, and the girl, frightened, grabbed a weapon to defend herself. Her father saw her holding the weapon and cautiously tried to calm her down, asking her to hand it over. The girl demanded that her father promise to let George go. Reluctantly, the father agreed. The girl handed over the weapon, but when the father took it, he immediately aimed it at George and pulled the trigger. However, the gun was empty. The girl had secretly removed the bullets. She declared she wanted her father to change his ways. Shortly after, the police arrived and arrested both her father and brother. George ensured the girl's safety and left. "Good luck," he said as he departed, hoping for better days ahead.